Bernie, and we're here to let you know that we're in it to win it, and to the White House he will go. We will always remember how he helps the ones in need, and he looks out for the little guy against that corporate greed. Oh, we're in a journey with Bernie, and we're here to let you know we're in it to win it, and to the White House he will go. We will always remember how he helps the ones in need, looks out for the little guy against the corporate greed.
All right.
The race for president.
He's a self-described democratic socialist from Vermont who got his
Okay, there we go. There we go. Welcome to Bernie 2016 TV, and this is our live coverage of the Greenville, South Carolina event. I'm Nigel Harrison. I'll be your host for this morning. This is our burn-in. It's going to be a quick burn-in today, and we're covering, this is the first stop of 4 over this weekend around South Carolina. Bernie will be in Columbia, South Carolina this evening, and tomorrow he'll be in Sumter, and then tomorrow night in Charleston, and we'll have coverage of all of those events. And then on Sunday he'll actually be in New Hampshire. So very, very busy schedule for Bernie, as his weekends are very, very full, and Bernie 2016 TV will be there all weekend bringing him live to you as well. Okay, I think today what I want to do is I want to start off and just let you know that we do have a live stream coming up of this Greenville event. We've heard there's several thousand people there. We're going to try and cross in a few moments to our reporter on the ground, which is Robbie, who is actually down there at the event, and let's try and bring him in and just see if we can get a couple of brief words from him before Bernie comes on stage. Bernie is due to come on at about 11 a.m., usually a few minutes after that by the time the introductions come on. But Robbie, are you there?
I think he can only hear some text at this point, but we are sharing the screen.
Let's just bring up the pictures there and see what... So we see the crowd there. It looks like there's several thousand people from reports. I believe the venue holds up to 5,000. Again, this is in Greenville, South Carolina. So as I mentioned, this is the first of 4 stops this weekend, and we expect Bernie to not only give his usual stump speech and cover the usual topics, but also talk to issues that are specific in South Carolina. And we can see some of the people there waiting for Bernie to come on stage right now. Okay, so please put your comments up in YouTube and on Twitter. We will be trying to follow them and actually answer some questions. So if you do have any questions or anything that you want us to address, we'll try and get them addressed as we go on through the broadcast. As I mentioned, we won't be doing our usual hour-long pre-show this time around. It's a shorter show. So. You may have seen in the Wisconsin polls, we don't have a graphic for you, but some Wisconsin polls out. Hey, Mr. Mayhem, how are you? Wisconsin polls out recently. We saw that Hillary Clinton's lead is dropping, and Bernie Sanders' poll numbers are increasing, and it's now down to a 12-point differential. Hillary was at 44%, and Bernie was at 32% in the latest polls. So Bernie's making a climb now in Wisconsin. So with Wisconsin, New Hampshire, Iowa, what we're starting to see is the results of this this grassroots movement, and people starting to understand Bernie's message and start to get on board the Bernie Sanders campaign. One thing that we do want to talk about there is that as more and more people get on board, and there was an article out from the campaign talking about how the campaign was caught a little bit off guard by the actual overwhelming response to Bernie Sanders' message, and they're catching up with the infrastructure for volunteers to actually keep the volunteers organised. But what I'd like to encourage everyone is, as you hear Bernie's message, as you get on board with Bernie's message, where this campaign's really going to be won is by converting that support, that enthusiasm, into actual volunteer efforts. And the best way to do that, the best way to actually get organized and get in the campaign infrastructure is to actually go on berniesanders.com onto the website and sign up there so that you can actually get into the campaign infrastructure. And then as they start to build out the field offices, they can reach out to you and incorporate you into their efforts, whether it be doing phone banks or whether it be doing sign-ups at rallies or events or whatever it may be. So please do that, because that's really the next step in this campaign. You'll see a lot of mainstream media talking out there right now that this campaign has a lot of enthusiasm, but they won't really be able to translate it, or we won't be able to really translate it into effort. Well, that's not going to be the case. The infrastructure is coming. It's being built. We're in touch with people from the campaign. They're actually working on some of that infrastructure, and I can assure you that if you put your name down, sign up on the berniesanders.com website, you will be contacted and then be able to translate your enthusiasm into efforts, and that's what's going to get Bernie Sanders through the primary and ultimately into the White House so that we can take the country back. Okay, any chance of getting Robbie on audio? No, not yet.
We're working on it, Nigel.
Oh, okay.
Robbie can only hear us via text right now.
All right.
We're trying to get a hold of him. You can tell from the crowd they're gearing up. Looks like they're giving some cheers. We don't have the initial speakers up there yet.
Okay. All right. We don't have any initial speakers up on the stage yet. So I want to thank everyone again for being here this morning, watching us on this show. I am from Charlotte, North Carolina, just up the road from Greenville, South Carolina, about an hour and a half up the road, 2 hours up the road. M Guy, thank you for watching us as well. I just see a comment going past here on the YouTube. So while we're waiting for Bernie, what I'd like to do is actually spend a little bit of time talking about privatized prisons. So in the media recently, you will have seen that Bernie Sanders is about to introduce legislation to stop privatized prisons. And this is a very important bill, and privatized prisons is actually a very, very important issue. The prison industrial complex, as it's come to known, is a very important issue. It ties into immigration. It ties into youth incarceration, and it really is part of the problem that we see around those issues. So when we talk racial justice, when we talk immigration reform and justice, a big part of the problem is the move over the recent years to privatized prisons. And we actually have a clip that we want to show around privatized prisons that was put together by another group on YouTube, and we're going to roll that clip, and just so everyone can get honed up here on the privatized prison industrial complex. We'll roll that clip.
In the state of Arizona, this is legalized racial profiling.
The detention of migrants is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
One in which immigrants are traded like products.
They are for sale to the highest bidder.
Who benefits and who profits? Corrections Corporation of America, or CCA, the GEO Group, and the Management and Training Corporation combined own over 200 facilities in the nation.
With over 150,000 bed spaces for a total profit billion.
Prisons profit like a hotel. The more occupants that go in, the more money comes out.
You just sell it like you're selling cars, or real estate, or hamburgers.
Private prisons rely on anti-immigrant laws that guarantee them access to fresh inmates.
Here's how they do it. The American Legislative Exchange Council, or ALEC, is an extreme right-wing membership organization comprised of state legislators and powerful multinational corporations, including the Corrections Corporation of America.
ALEC is the most active private prison lobbyist group pushing for anti-immigrant laws like Arizona's SB 1070.
Russell Pierce, like CCA, is an ALEC member, one with obscure ties to national white separatist neo-Nazi groups. During an ALEC meeting, CCA and Pierce crafted a model legislation that became, almost word for word, Arizona's SB 1070.
Whether people are undocumented or not doesn't matter.
As long as they fill the detention facilities for days, months, or even years.
SB 1070 and their copycat laws sprouting up across the country represent the perfect money machine.
All right. So that was a short clip there. There's actually a second part of that which we may show later on throughout the weekend as we continue to follow this issue. But it is a growing issue, and yeah, I just saw some comments go by. C.L. Nelson, wow, it's even worse than I knew. It is. When you start to lift the covers and peel back the layers, it actually is quite disgusting what's going on. And these prisons, the CCA and privatized prison corporations, profit by keeping their jails full, and their goal is to make a profit. So conditions are horrendous. There is rampant drug use in jails, rampant violence, and it's just getting worse. And a lot of the times, the people that are going to these prisons are either immigrants, people caught on immigration law, or people caught on what should be misdemeanors or not even criminal cases. For small amounts of possession of marijuana and so forth, and they're thrown in with extremely violent criminals, and their chances of survival or becoming a hardened criminal are actually quite low. Sorry, I didn't explain that very well to everyone. Okay, so we're just waiting on Bernie to come on stage still. I was hoping to talk with our co-host down there, our reporter down there, Robbie, about that. I think we've now got him ready to unmute. So, Robbie, are you there?
Hey, Robbie, can you hear us?
Hey, Robbie. We're just going to try and chat to him.
You tell him. We have chat with Robbie. We're getting him to unmute.
All right, while we're getting him in, I saw a question come through, and sorry I missed the name, but in terms of asking what Bernie's poll numbers were in relation to Donald Trump and the other front-runner in the GOP, Jeb Bush, recent polls do show that Bernie is actually leading all Republican candidates in head-to-head matchups, and that is one of his strengths. So, yeah, you're right. The mainstream media never mentions that. Or very rarely mention that, but he actually is beating a lot of all of the Republican candidates. And I think we have Robbie on now. I can hear his audio. Robbie?
Well, we can definitely hear the audio there, Nigel.
Yeah. Okay.
Coming through. It looks like the bandwidth is getting a little chopped because we've just got a frozen picture here. So we're trying, everybody.
All right, guys. So we are trying here, and just want to remind you that you are watching Bernie 2016 TV. And while we have this opportunity, just want to remind everyone that is watching, if you haven't already registered to vote in your primary, please make sure you are registered to vote in your primary. Check and make sure that your state is not a closed primary, and if it is a closed primary, what that means is you have to be registered Democrat in order to vote for Bernie Sanders. So if you are registered as an independent, you will need to change your registration to Democrat in those closed state primaries. And some states are closing very, very soon. I know New York is closing this month coming, I believe, in September. So do check into that and get that set for yourselves. And also make sure your friends and family are registered to vote as well, because at the end of the day, it's not about Bernie Sanders, as he will tell you. It's about us. It's about our participation in the political process. It's about our understanding of the issues. It's about our willingness to actually understand what the candidates are saying, what they're proposing, and ultimately to take the country back and take the political process back away from the billionaires and return it to the 99. Okay, so we're getting some comments going through on the YouTube. Yeah, Cone Vanderland. Yeah, private prisons are they are absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. What's going on there? It's just really, prisons are, I understand that there are serious offenders and so forth that need to be held in prisons that can't be reformed, but a lot of people that go in prisons shouldn't be there in the first place, and a lot of people that go in prisons, with the right support and so forth, can actually reform and get back on the straight and narrow, and private prisons don't have those as goals. Their goal is to make money. Someone asked where most of the funding comes from for those prisons. It actually comes out of the federal government and out of the state government. So the government is actually paying per prisoner. Basically, the idea is it's outsourcing the prisons, and effectively what happens is the government's paid less per prisoner than what they were supposedly paying before. But usually they're in these guarantees, in these prison contracts there are guarantees, and in terms of population limits and so forth, and that's why you see horrendous bills like the Arizona immigration bill and an increase in penalties and jail time for misdemeanors, simply to keep prisons full. It's very, very corrupt. As we saw there, all related to ALEC, which if you've been watching our shows over the last few weeks, and when we did the West Coast Swing, we played the video around ALEC, and you know what a corrupt organisation ALEC is and how that's now influencing the creation of bills in government.
Hey, Nigel.
Yeah.
Looks like we got some people cheering there. Just going to show that here. They're getting a chant going there. Can you hear it?
Yeah. Let's have a look at that live crowd shots.
Yeah, we're looking at that, and I just wanted to add on the prisons for profit. My favorite statistic, and I don't have the full numbers right now, is just how much more we put into every single prisoner as opposed to students in school. Right? I mean, not only do these guys, not only is it a profit circle where we need to keep certain quota in there, so we're arresting people for no reason so we can put them in there. Okay, this is all part of the system. It's a whole dirty game. How many can we put in prison? How much money can we make off of it? But these guys get health care. These guys get better care in prison than we give our citizens who have done nothing wrong. And that is what pisses me off the most. That makes no sense, where our children have to fend for themselves, but prisoners get better health care, better dental, better health. That has me outraged. Outraged. I want to strangle the guy in Congress who came up with that profit. I want to know who wrote that bill.
Yeah, it's absolutely disgusting. But you're right. It's just a terrible situation, and it's got to be stopped. And really hope that Bernie's bill gets some support through Congress as it goes through. But if nothing else, it's going to really start to focus the conversation, because Congress will be forced to give it an up-down vote and at least debate the bill. So,
agreed.
Okay, all right. There's some cheers coming through.
Something just happened.
Okay, just want to remind everyone, this is the first of 4 broadcasts that
we have an official stream.
All right.
We have an official stream, Nigel. I'm going to
official stream. All right. Looks like we're going to cut to an official stream.
Just give me 1 second here.
All right. Looks like we've got the introductions coming up. We're just going to cut to the official stream, and then we're going to let the people that looks like Simone Sanders maybe now speaking. Would that be right? Okay. All right, we're going to cut to the stream any moment, and as soon as that's done, we're going to come back on air, get some reactions from Robbie, and wrap up the show. Okay, great. Stay with us. Thanks for watching. Here we go.
Americans. We need people who know the critical civil rights law which protected voters in places with a history of discrimination is as necessary today as it was in the Jim Crow era. Economic inequality and racial inequality are paramount issues. There must be a change. And our criminal justice system. So we are not locking up a whole generation, but instead we are ending the disgrace that is the mass incarceration of African Americans. We need people who truly believe and are working to ensure every young person in this country receives a shot at quality and affordable education. Now, if you believe that I do, like I do, that Bernie Sanders is the candidate for president we need leading this country, there are a few things I want to encourage you to do this morning, okay? All right, you have already taken the first step by attending this rally today. Thank you for being here. Give yourself a round of applause. Step two is turning that passion into action. So what can we do? All right, you can visit our website, www.berniesanders.com. There you can sign up to volunteer, you can sign up to host a house party. All right, in addition to our website, you can also text Bernie to 82623 to join our campaign and get current updates and ways to get involved. And lastly, you can follow us on Twitter at Bernie Sanders. Are you ready to get this thing started? Two ladies behind me that are going to speak to you before we bring the man of the hour out. Is that okay? Alright. First, I'd like to welcome to the stage Miss Jade Barton. She's a recent graduate of Furman University. Let's give a warm welcome to Miss Jade Barton.
So first, I'd like to ask everyone to give Senator Bernie Sanders a round of applause. He's excited that he's I know that personally, I'm so excited as well as honored that I'm on the behalf of college students here in South Carolina. But before I get to that, I'd like to make a quick aside and say that I would truly like to thank Senator Bernie Sanders for his dedication to the civil rights movement, even when it wasn't popular to do so. I have the utmost respect for him on that. But to continue, my name is Jade Barton, and I'm a recent graduate of Furman University, located here in Greenville, South Carolina. I'm so thankful for the excellent quality of education that I received from Furman, but however, 3 months out, and I find myself with thousands of dollars in loans that must be repaid. And fortunately, that's just a small amount compared to many of my friends who have hundreds of thousands of dollars in loans that must be repaid. And like so many college students, this is a daunting thought. We want to start futures. We want to build careers. We want to move further in our education. But we can't because we find ourselves trapped by the burden of debt. So in 2015, this shouldn't be a problem in America, one that proclaims herself to be the wealthiest and to have the best education. The best education should not only be for the haves, but it should also be for the have-nots as well. strong support of Senator Bernie Sanders because he is a lifelong advocate of education affordability. He understands that college should be a fundamental right for anyone who chooses to go, and it shouldn't be treated as a luxury. Currently, he's introduced a bill to the Senate floor that would make public colleges and universities free, as well as lower the interest rates on loans, which I know. So, I will continue to support Senator Bernie Sanders because I believe that he is the candidate who believes in creating an America where everyone can achieve their dreams. Now, I'd like to introduce Ms. Deb Mara, who's a volunteer with South Carolina for Bernie Sanders.
Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be here because I've been a fan of Bernie for many years. And actually, his message inspired me to run for office in 2012. And the best part of that experience was getting to meet and listen to people all over Greenville and Spartanburg County. And everybody left, right, and center agreed that money plays a deciding role and way too big in our elections and our policies. And they don't like it. Too many people have been resigned that this would never change and got turned off about participating in politics.
Right.
And that especially after the Citizens United decision, unless you're backed by billionaire interests,
They just killed audio, guys.
No, it was.
Appreciate it very, very much. So we began this campaign about 3.5 months ago. And the momentum from coast to coast has we have not only had some of the largest turnouts in Iowa, New Hampshire,
Well, as you can see there, everybody, the stream stopped streaming. We've got a.
We were
Make sure they were
in the
waiting.
West Coast a week or so ago.
There it is.
It's spinning.
There are a lot of people out there complaining about the quality of the feed, complaining that it's not an official feed. This is an official feed from the Bernie Sanders campaign. I've repeatedly asked them to help them with this, to go out on the road. We've got gear available. We'd like to help. Guys, this is what it's like when you don't have major corporations backing your campaign. This is us. So for everybody that's complaining about the quality in here, just remember, this is being done by the 99%, by what we have available. This is not a big, massive, billion-dollar corporate-funded media station here, or a campaign. So we really need to, instead of complain about it, we need to help. And you know, I'm just going to make that statement right now while we wait for the feed to come through, the live feed from the campaign. You know, if MSNBC is doing a version of it right now, I can guarantee it won't be available for us to watch later on. They block most of this stuff. So, you know, just letting you know, guys, we're doing everything we can. We reached out to the campaign. We would like to help with this. Hopefully, we'll be bringing a satellite truck along with. That's what we're working on. And if we can get these things together, which we've got all that going on in the background, then we will be able to provide solid feed. But you know, it costs money, and it takes resources to do these things. And that is the one advantage the major corporations have over us, is that they have these resources and they have this money. So it's a big battle, guys. We're waiting on buffering and the audio. There's nothing. There's basically a spinning wheel for the live stream feed here.
John, I don't know if we can use that other feed that might be up there, WSPA.
Let me see.
Can have a look at that.
Where are you seeing that link, Nigel?
Just in live production. In Slack. Guys, hang with us. We are working fiercely to try and bring this stream back. So we do apologize. We appreciate your support, and we appreciate you watching Bernie 2016 TV. So we try and bring you all things Bernie, follow his campaign. For those that are watching, Jill Smith, yeah, South Carolina is a closed primary. The Democratic primary is February 27th, so make sure you are registered Democrat in South Carolina if you're watching this from South Carolina.
We have not only had some of the largest turnouts in Iowa, New Hampshire, we were in the West Coast a week or so ago.
Let's buff it again.
We have not only had some of the largest turnouts in Iowa, New Hampshire, we were in the West Coast a week or so ago.
Well, it shows there. Even Bernie gets bad Wi-Fi.
Robbie is gone, guys.
We were in the West Coast, we the Silicon.
Well, see how long it sticks.
And yeah.
way of health care for hundreds of thousands of people. I would hope that
What's going on?
We don't have, we're attempting to pull a feed, that's what's going on. But
it is wrong to allow hundreds of people to die unnecessarily because they don't have Medicaid.
now the official feed is looking okay,
It is
so
wrong
get back to that.
to force people to become much sicker than they
If I
otherwise
can pull it
would
up,
have been.
still just waiting.
And as president, I would work day and night to make certain we do not continue to have this distinction of more people in jail. Rather, I want us to have the distinction of being the best educated population on earth. And when we talk about the economy, let us understand that there is a reason why millions of people are working 50, 60, 70 hours a week trying to cobble together some income. And the reason is that wages in America for millions of people are just too damn low. And let's be honest, and let us be honest and have the courage to recognize a simple truth. The federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour is a starvation wage and must be raised. The minimum wage in this country must become a living wage, $15 an hour over the next few years. It is not a radical idea, it is an American idea. That if somebody works 40 hours a week, that person should not be living in poverty. And brothers and sisters, when we talk about fair wages, I hope every man in this room will stand with the women and fight for pay equity for women working. There is no rational economic reason why women should be earning 78 cents on the dollar compared to men. That has got to change. Now, we hear a lot from my Republican colleagues about family values. You ever hear them talking about family values? These guys stay up nights worrying about families. Well, I have 4 kids, I've got 7 grandchildren, and Jane and I have been married for 27 years. And we believe in family, and we believe that we must strengthen families in America. But we have a very different perspective on family values than do my Republican colleagues. What the Republicans are talking about when they refer to family values are telling every woman in America that they cannot control their own bodies. I disagree. What the Republicans are telling in terms of so-called family values is they're not smart enough to be able to purchase the contraceptives they need. I disagree. And what the Republicans, when they refer is to say that our gay brothers and sisters should not have the right to marry or enjoy the other benefits of American citizenship. I disagree. Now, when I talk about family values, what I talk about is ending the international embarrassment of the United States being family and medical leave to our families. Any woman in South Carolina or Vermont who has a baby should be able to stay home with that baby 3 months. Staying home with your baby, not being forced to go back to work because you don't have sufficient income. Staying home with your baby is a family value. Let's make it happen. And by the way, we have also got to end the absurdity of the United States being the only major country that does not guarantee sick time for our workers or paid vacation time. Let me tell you what I think we have got to do to address the jobs crisis in America. All of you are aware that throughout America, in my state, your state, all over America, our infrastructure, roads, bridges, water systems, wastewater plants, rail, airport, are collapsing. We need a major program to rebuild our crumbling infrastructure. And when we improve our infrastructure, investing $1 trillion over 5 years, we can create over 13 million decent paying jobs. And when we talk about jobs, it is not only necessary to create millions of decent paying jobs, it is necessary to prevent the loss of more and more jobs as a result of our disastrous trade policies. You are looking at a senator who voted, and a former congressman who voted against NAFTA, against CAFTA, against permanent normal trade relations with China, and is helping to lead the effort against this disastrous Trans-Pacific Partnership. Our trade policy must be about creating jobs and income for the middle class, not huge profits for corporate America. All of you are aware that as a result of the greed, recklessness, and illegal behavior on Wall Street, the middle class and working families of our country bailed them out. We bailed them out because they were, quote unquote, too big to fail. Well, it turns out that 3 out of the 4 largest banks in America are significantly bigger today than they were when we bailed them out because they were too big to fail. The 6 largest banks in America issue 2/3 of the credit cards and 35% of mortgages. In my view, if a financial institution is too big to fail, it's too big to exist. Let's break them up. We need a financial system which provides affordable loans to small and medium-sized businesses so we can create the jobs we need. We do not need a financial system on Wall Street which is an island unto itself, only concerned about making billions more in profits for themselves. You know, often people ask me, they say, well, what is the most important issue? And all of these issues are so important, it's hard to say this is more important than that. But let me tell you one issue that impacts every other issue. And that is that as a result of the disastrous Supreme Court decision on Citizens United, as a result of that decision, the American political system has been totally corrupted, and the foundations of American democracy are being undermined. When you have one family, the Koch brothers, spending you like them too, all right. When you have this one family, an extreme right-wing family, spending some $900 million in this election cycle, that is more money than either the Democratic Party or the Republican Party will spend. When you have a situation like that, my friends, we are not talking about democracy, we're talking about oligarchy, and that's got to change. I have not made many campaign promises during this campaign, but this is one I have made, and I repeat to you. No nominee of mine to the United States Supreme Court will get that position on the American people that their first order of business will be to overturn Citizens United. But it's not just good enough to overturn Citizens United. I am a passionate believer in democracy. Pretty radical idea that ordinary people, and not kings or queens or billionaires, that ordinary people should be able to control the future of their countries. And I want to see a political system where anybody, any working class person, low income person, middle class person, can run for office regardless of his or her political views, conservative, progressive, moderate, whatever you are. You should be able to run for office without begging billionaires for financial support. A few weeks ago, I was at an event with Martin Luther King III and the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, a major civil rights group. And what we were there, and Simone mentioned this, we were there to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the historic Voting Rights Act. But we were also there to make it clear that we are going to undo the damage done by the Supreme Court, which vitiated one of the major provisions of the Voting Rights Act. And what is going on right now, all over this country and in South Carolina, is a deliberate attempt to make it harder for low-income and seniors and people of color to vote. Now, I have run for office on many occasions. Sometimes I've won, sometimes I've lost, but it has never ever occurred to me to figure out a way to deny the vote to people who may disagree with me. We can disagree in a democracy about everything, but there should be no disagreement. But that it is an act of cowardice to try to prevent people in America from voting. And that is why I have introduced legislation which says pretty simply what exists in many other countries around the world. If you are 18 years of age, you're registered to vote. End of discussion.
Where are the delivery guys?
With Serta Eye Comfort, Sealy.
51, that if you can refinance your home at 2 or 3%, makes no sense to me that you're paying 8 to 10% on interest rate. And furthermore, it makes no sense to me that the federal government is making billions in profit off of high interest rates for working class and low income families. We got to end that as well. What this campaign is about is a very fundamental debate over values, over priorities, and where this country should go. I am the ranking member, the leader of the opposition on the Senate Budget Committee. And what all of you should know is that the budget passed a few months ago by the Republicans made massive cuts in Medicare, massive cuts in Medicaid, massive cuts in Pell Grants, and at a time when millions of families are struggling to put food on the table, massive cuts in nutrition programs. And then, to add insult to injury, the Republicans provided over $200 billion in tax breaks to the top 0.2%. Let me tell my Republican colleagues that those values, those priorities are not America's values or America's priorities. No, we're not going to cut Social Security. We're going to expand Social Security. And as the former chairman of the Senate Veterans Committee, cut that. Not only are we not going to cut every veteran quality health care and benefits they have for. when we talk about making America the kind of nation that we must become. We must talk about ending institutional racism. And making major reforms in a broken criminal justice system. The good news is that in recent years, our country has in fact made real progress in overcoming our legacy of historical racism. If we were sitting here, or standing as the case may be, 25, 30 years ago, somebody said, you know, I think America has matured enough, has overcome its racist history, so that we will elect in 2008 an African American as president. Very few people would have thought that was possible, but it happened. It happened that the American people were able to look beyond the color of a candidate's skin and look into his ideas and his values. We should be proud of that. But the bad news that racism is a much too real part of American life. And in that regard, I am talking about the sickness of a man who walked into a church in Charleston where he engaged in Bible studies, prayed with people in the room, and then took out a gun and killed 9. Hundreds of hate groups that exist all over this country, groups who are motivated only by hatred, hatred of blacks, hatred of gays, hatred of immigrants, hatred of Jews. I'm not just talking about that. I'm also talking about Sandra Bland and Michael Brown. And many others, too many to count. And here's the point. For a variety of reasons, you have seen these murders on television, but they have gone on decade after decade after decade. So let me just say this. Elected President of the United States, there is no one who will fight harder not only to end institutional racism, but to make fundamental changes in our broken criminal justice system. And without going into all of the details now, let me just make a few points about how we need real reform of the criminal justice system. When I see on television, and you see on television, police forces in local communities all over this country who have heavy-duty military equipment, who look like an invading force rather than a local police department, you know and I know we got to demilitarize those groups. I was a mayor for 8 years, worked very closely with our police department, and know that being a cop is a very tough job, and that most cops do it well. But what we must also make clear, that when a police officer, like any other public official, breaks the law, that officer must be held accountable. community policing, where police officers are part of the community. And I want to see police departments look like the communities that they serve. Even police officials acknowledge that we need to take a hard look at the use of force. Force should be the last resort, not the first. We need to rethink the war on drugs. I find it remarkable that we have many young Americans who have criminal records for smoking marijuana, but not one major Wall Street executive has been prosecuted. That is a pretty broad sense of criminal justice. Destroying the lives of nonviolent young people by giving them criminal records, sometimes jailing them. But believing the CEOs of Wall Street have destroyed the economy without any criminal. I will be introducing legislation when Congress reconvenes in September. We must end the absurdity of private corporations making profits by running jails and prisons. Corporations should not be profiteering from people's misery and from people being in jail. We need to invest in drug courts and medical and mental health interventions rather than more insurance. Substance abuse is a disease, a widespread and serious disease that we have got to deal with, and it must be treated as such. We need a path back from prison. If somebody comes out of jail and has no education, no job, no decent housing, no financial resources, we should not be shocked at the rate of recidivism that we see in this country today. When we talk, by the way, of bringing our people together, let us not forget that there are 11 million undocumented people in this country. In my view, they need legal protection. We need comprehensive immigration reform. We need a path toward citizenship. You are looking at a senator and a former congressman who believes that war should be the last resort. I voted against the war in Iraq. me to tell you, but if you go to YouTube and look at what I said and voted against that, or the speeches that I gave, sadly, much of what I feared, in fact, happened in terms of the destabilization of the region. And let me tell you this, it kind of blows my mind listening to many of my Republican colleagues who seem to have forgotten what the cost of war is about. They have forgotten about the 6,700 brave men and women who died in Iraq and Afghanistan. They have forgotten about those who came home without legs and arms and eyesight. They have forgotten about the 500,000 who came home with PTSD and traumatic illnesses. I am supporting the President's effort to make sure that Iran does not get a nuclear weapon. But that we do it in a peaceful way. I have not forgotten the cost of war, and I think what a great nation is about is not to go to war every other year, but to do everything that we can to maintain world peace. Let me conclude by asking you to think big, not small, to have a vision of what our great country can be. This is the wealthiest country in the history of the world, but what we have seen in the last 30 years is trillions of dollars transferred from the middle class and working families to the top 1/10 of 1%. We have got to reverse that process. We can live, not a utopian vision. We can live in a country where healthcare is a right for all of our people. We can live in a country where we have the best child care and pre-K system in the world. We can live in a country where every American, regardless of his or her income, can get the higher education they need. We can live in a nation in which all of our seniors can retire with dignity and security and not We can live in a nation where everyone, no matter their race, their religion, their disability, or their sexual orientation, realizes the full promise of equality as a birthright of all Americans. Brothers and sisters, if we do not allow them to divide us up by race, by gender, by whether we're born in America or born someplace else, whether we're gay or whether we're straight, if we do not allow them to divide us up, if we stand together, there is nothing that we cannot accomplish, and I look forward to making that happen with you.
All right, let me know when we're back on. All right, we're back on. Keep the crowd pictures running. We'll probably keep the crowd pictures running there. If you want, John, that'd be great. And also they were playing out to "Rocking in the Free World." I just heard it lightly there in the background. So
It
another
looks
great.
like the feed started buffering anyway, so we're done with it.
Yeah, perfect. Another great rally there. Greenville, the start of the South Carolina swing tonight, coming up in Columbia, and then tomorrow in. Benny hit on a lot of the issues that we expected him to hit on. The reaction from our reporter on the ground there, Robbie, had told us earlier on that there was quite a great diversity in the crowd in terms of both age and race, which you'd expect from South Carolina, but it's also great to see. As that's certainly been one of the criticisms of the Sanders campaign, that his appeal has not been wide enough. And I think people are starting to realise that his message does apply to all. So a lot of comments going by on YouTube that it really doesn't matter how old or young you are, whether you're a high schooler that's going to be voting for the first time, going into college, or whether you're up in the octogenarians end of the scale. Everyone can get behind Bernie's message because he really does have a common sense message for the country, and it's important right now. And as we saw at the top of the show when we started, we had that Bernie Sanders supporter, that 92-year-old woman. We don't have all of her details. She's out there on YouTube singing that song from Bernie. We can see some pictures there going up on screen right now, and they're pictures that are actually taken live and sent in to us by one of our correspondents. And great scenes there, coming in. All right, we are going to try and get Robbie back in, our reporter on the ground. We tried that for a few minutes and see if we can actually get him in. If we can't, then that will be a shame, but we will do what we can. Thanks, Jake. I'm not sure what you're mentioning on my tan, but I'm not a very tan sort of person. All right, yeah, Steve. United we stand, divided we fall, and that's very important. Steve Cotton just commented that on YouTube. Very, very important. This is a movement of millions, as Bernie said. That it's not just about him. It's about us, the people, actually participating in this movement and making a movement of millions. So we have Janine working with us today in control booth, and John also. And Janine, John, I don't know if you want to jump in with any comments around what you saw or heard on the rally, on the bit that we did see. And for those of you that are watching Bernie 2016 TV, thanks for bearing with us through our technical difficulties here.
Yeah, I'm surprised at the size of the crowd. I don't know if we have an official count yet, but had to be at least a couple thousand people there.
Yeah, easily a couple of thousand. We know the venue can hold up to 5,000, and we were hearing numbers from some of the people on YouTube and some of our reporters on the ground that it was 2,000 to 5,000. So I know that's a broad range for people, but as you can see from the crowd shots, definitely seemed to be a lot of people packed in that room. You could tell by the cheers as Bernie went through some of his talking points. There was a lot of passion there for Bernie's message.
I've heard the same message over and over again, as we all have, and I've heard a lot of people say that he needs to change it up, and I would say no. I mean, there's no need. We need this pounded into the heads of every single American. This is the same message. It doesn't vary. It doesn't need to change. We need everybody to understand how critical all of these messages are and how we need to fix them. There's no new message here, folks. Everything he's saying is the same. We need to change these things now. He can come up with new creative ways to say it and with some different statistics, right? But in the end, it means the same thing. Holy crap, we've got some work to do. Let's get to work.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right, John. I mean, one of the problems with changing messages, as some people are requesting for, I think that's what we've become used to from politicians that pander to different socio-economic groups as they go around the country. All the way to the point of changing their accent. We've seen some of that, but they pander to groups and they tell people what they think people need to hear. Whereas Bernie Sanders, man of integrity, has been saying this message. He saw the writing on the wall 30 years ago as we started to travel down this path even longer, and he's progressively and consistently got a track record of actually calling the poor results that are going to happen from some of these bad decisions, whether it be the Iraq War, whether it be the removing of Glass-Steagall, restrictions on the banks, whether it be not separating, investment banks from the actual financial bank, like all of these moments of decision that have happened throughout the history, throughout the last 30, 40 years. He's spoken about, he said what the consequences would be. He continues to talk about what the consequences will be of taking money from education, putting more money in prisons, the wealth inequality, and that's why his message is consistent, because it's the right message, and he's not pandering to anyone. He's basically telling the American people what the problems are and where he sees the solutions, and that's the debate we've got to have as a nation. We've got to stop having our ears tickled by the other politicians and actually face reality and say, we've got some serious problems to actually deal with here. And right now, Bernie Sanders is the only man that actually has bona fide, real solutions that aren't just pandering to extremist groups or so. All right, we will be on again later tonight, everyone, and we will be broadcasting live from
Columbia.
Columbia. Thank you, Janine. I was thinking Columbia, Charleston, Greenville. I was having all the cities run through my head there.
Let me push the card up. So the card is up there right now, guys. It was 11 a.m. Eastern today at Greenville Rally, and then tonight we have it says TD Convention Center. I'm sure that's not what it's called. That's an abbreviation. But that is, and let's see, Columbia Town Meeting is tonight, the Medallion Center, correct? 7 p.m. Eastern, Columbia Town Meeting, the Medallion Center. That's on Garner's Ferry Road, and reading the card from here. Nigel, what else do we have to cover? We want to wrap, or do we want to talk about more stuff?
I think we're going to wrap if we can't get Robbie in. Just for those that are watching and asking, the rally starts at 7. We'll be starting our burn-in. That's my unofficial name. The burn-in at 6 o'clock. So we'll be starting the burn-in at 6 o'clock. I'm not too sure who we've got as host tonight, Janine.
We're going to mix it up a little bit. We have Sabin, who's from Vermont.
Mm-hmm.
We have Nis, who's from Scandinavia, who will be on with us, and Aman, who's in Washington, D.C., who's a volunteer for the official campaign there. And so we're going to have a good mix tonight.
Beautiful, beautiful. And for those people that are still watching, do yourself a favor and go out to Daily Costs or Daily Chaos. We're still debating what that is, and check for an article by Nis, who'll actually be on the show tonight. He just recently published an article about Bernie and super PACs, and it's worth a 10-minute read. So definitely go out and check that out. All right. Well, I think that's it for today. For this morning, as you saw, great rally. And we'll be back here again this evening. I want to thank everyone in the production booth, John, Janine, Pat was there in the background for a bit. I see we've got Rich on as well. I want to thank Dave Conan, who jumped on the YouTube comments there and put some chat in the YouTube comments. And that's certainly, actually, that is what we do need. We could certainly do with another volunteer to help us with YouTube comments and comment moderation as well. On some of these broadcasts, you saw some of the trolls there. I saw Ness put a great comment by saying, YouTube, social media, and the internet is a bridge around the world, and that's why so many trolls live under it. I thought that was very funny. So
good point. Good point. Yeah.
So please join us again this evening. Thank you for being with us this morning. Thank you for bearing with us through the technical difficulties. And for Bernie 2016 TV, I'll be signing off. John, I didn't even give you a cue of a song to go out with. I don't know if we've got anything queued we can possibly do.
So I'm just going to say this. I've got Americans running through my head still. I have the old version with the misspelled name that Dave can't stand. So I think I'm going to play Americans just to go out with it.
Oh,
anyway.
That's Dave's song. He's going to hate on me for that.
I know. And I want to just use this, if we've got anybody listening still, I just want to say, we're looking for your media. We are being put up against some huge copyright issues right now with musicians and big corporations. They don't want us using their stuff, even if it promotes Bernie Sanders. So, especially if it promotes Bernie Sanders. So we need your media. If you guys have songs, videos, clips, whatever it is supporting Bernie that you want us to show, send them to us, get them to us, because we will use that before we use anything created by a corporation, okay? So this is Bernie Sanders American. Sorry, Nigel, I'm keeping your face up on the screen there.
It's all right. I just saw the comments saying, please play Tony Teague instead.
Oh, okay, all right. Where is it? Where's Tony?
He's in the
It should be
spreadsheet.
up there.
1 minute, guys. There.
All right, so hold on. We're going to go out with Tony Teague. We started with that 92-year-old supporter, and now we're going to go all the way to the other end of the spectrum, and we're going to go out with Tony Teague. So there you go, just to show Tony's broad-ranging appeal.
I've made Tony Tig my my ringer on my phone.
Please the link to Tony Tig in the Hangout chat, please. I don't have that page open on the machine. I need to have it open on. Sorry, guys.
All right, you're gonna have to give me a second here.
All right. Live TV. Live TV. Here we
Sorry,
go.
everybody.
Yeah, that song rocks. I could listen to that over and over again.
Where is it?
Well, we're getting that up. That's right. Bernie is not running as an independent. Make sure you are registered Democrat in your closed primary states, particularly South Carolina. That is a closed primary I just saw provide.
And while we have this moment, and I'm waiting for that song to come up, I just want to address, there's a lot of comments being made today about the audio issues, the video issues. There were several streams. There was an official stream, but it was having buffering issues. There was a WSPA stream that was working sort of, and then there was an MSNBC stream, and we were trying to pull them up. We were trying to use them all. They were knocking out on us. Some of them were buffering. Some of them were killing audio. The MSNBC stream we could get shut down for, and what we're on the verge of right now is we have so many copyright strikes against us because we're using corporate media and we're claiming fair use rights that if we get our channel shut down, we can't bring you any Bernie. So I apologize for the issues. We really are trying to work with the campaign to be the support for them in this sense. But there are lots of regulations and rules around that because they're a campaign and we're not. So I just wanted to say I apologize for those issues. We really are trying to come up with a consistent means of delivering Bernie to everybody, but we are not a corporation, and we are fighting the very corporations we unfortunately have to use to deliver the media, right? We have to go through corporations for 4G, for Wi-Fi, for network, and so we're fighting the very systems that we have to use in some cases. So I just wanted to apologize on behalf of Bernie2016.tv and the campaign for the inconsistency of the broadcasts. Right?
All right, I think we got that clip.
Yep, the link is in the live production.
Oh, you dropped it in that chat.
Yeah.
I need it in the physical chat. Hang on a second. I can't see that chat.
Okay.
Hang on.
Live television. Gotta love it.
Got 116 dedicated people that want to see Tony Teague.
Nigel put it in the chat here too.
Right. Okay. Sorry, guys.
All right, everyone. We will see you this evening. Thanks for watching.
This one here. Thank you, Google, for making chats really simple. That was a joke.
How do you haul your ATVs? Say hello to a game changer. The Diamondback ATV Carrier. It's a truck bed cover that seals.
We have to make the country a nation in which the wealthiest people are becoming phenomenally rich, while we have over 40 million people living in poverty. The very least that we can say is that nobody in America goes.
Pied Piper Bernie Sanders for the middle class, but the GOP wants to put our interests last. He's gonna give it to you raw, no hesitation. with the right ideas to lead this great nation. No handouts, no special interest groups. Hell, lie to give votes is telling you the truth. And while the media wants to downplay him, he still gon' fight. Tell him all he ain't playing. Push him for higher wages so we all can free the families. The only one I know who can conquer this insanity of this Wall Street bickering, belittling the poor. Dollar bills, only thing they considering. When people need health care, kids need school. When it comes to politics, Bernie's breaking rules. No attack gets on the competition's needed. He's running on the facts and it's something that we needed. Feel the burn, make him feel the burn. All the way to the White House, feel the burn. Feel the burn, make him feel the burn. Till the haters on the right, they can feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. All the way to the White House, feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. Till the haters on the left, they can feel the burn. You see him scared shook, he's a democratic socialist. But they don't even know what it means, they just roll with it. Get over it, check the resume. Fighting for civil rights ever since the first day. While other candidates still with their hands out, we do it old school, grassroots stand out. Cause this is our time to have a voice to serve. You fat cats had your chance, now it's our turn. They say he can't win, he's too liberal, way too extreme, too honest and too cynical. They want another robot politician, the same old rhetoric. Now they gon' listen. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. All the way to the White House, feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. Till the haters on the right, they can feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. All the way to the White House, feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. Till the haters on the left, they can feel the burn.
Millions and millions of working people who are working hard but are not making enough money to put bread on the table or to take care of their kids, and that has got to end.
The time has come when people all over this country create a political movement which says to the billionaire class, you can't have it all.
Make them feel the burn. All the way to the White House, feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. Till the haters on the right, they can feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. All the way to the White House, feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. Till the haters on the left, they can feel the burn.